Hello everyone, we're going to look at the S&P. We're charting it. This is an actual daily chart. It's running right now. If you can see the screen, we can see it's up 2515, up 45.12 or 1.83%. So looking at this, we're looking at charting it, right? So I've put a few lines on here so we can see where we're at. If we back off of it, we can see we're starting our trend line in 2008. And we follow that trend upward until just recently where we started falling on the S&P. I'm going to bring it in a little closer. We can see when when the market turned, we went down, we broke through our trend line, and then we broke through our first support right here, came back through, hit the bottom of the trend line, which became a resistance. We couldn't hold it, came back down. We've approached it again, that trend line. We've hit it, and we've come back down again. So backing off on that. So we can see we're right here. And so our next support is about 2411, right? We've already went through it once. We came back up. Now we're stuck between the support and the resistance of the trend line that we have going up. I think it's going to get much worse. I think we're going to drop down and ultimately, and we're going to come to this support. And when we do that, this old line that was a support is going to become a resistance. Some people call it a ceiling and a floor. You can call it resistance and support, whichever way you prefer. But we can see we did break that trend line. Now I think that we will go back through it, and I think that we will come down to the 2141 line really quick. And the reason why is because when we broke through this resistance, we immediately shot straight up, and we hit that resistance, and we've come through till today. We stayed above it for about 3 years here. Well, let's see, 2.7, 2.5, somewhere around in there. When we hit this support, it's going to be a little bit stronger because we've got a little bit more time in this channel here. Stock moves in 3 directions. It's up, down, or to the side, right? That's the only 3 ways it can go, up, down, or to the side. So when we hit this support right here, it took 3 years. I'll put this timelines in here. It took 3 years in this channel. And actually, it never come back and tested the floor. But we went up and we just hugged that resistance, and then finally we broke through it. So it'll hit right there just for a minute. It'll probably take a little longer to go through, or about the same time as it did this, because our length of time in that channel is giving it a little bit of strength. The longer a trend is formed, like this right here, the stronger it is. And the longer a stock makes a formation, whether it's in a channel or what have you, on an uptrend or a downtrend, the stronger that support or resistance comes. So this is a 3-year. So I figure in the near future, today is April 2nd, 2020, then we're going to break this trend line at 2141, and then we're going to go down. We'll probably go down to about right here. And then we'll go down to this line right here. Now every time you approach a support, especially if you've got any length of time to it whatsoever, then you can expect a bounce normally, unless the news is just so bad, you know, that it just flies through it. So we're probably going to get a bounce right here, which we already had really. So I think when we come back to it, we might get a little bounce, and then we're going to start moving toward the 1530. And when we get there, I think that's going to be a real strong support right here. And the reason why, below it, we can see we have 16 years. So we formed this channel, was forming over 16 years before we broke out of the resistance right here. And I'm going to back it up just a little and show you. You've always got to go back to find the future. So where did I get 16 years? Let's see. So we can see we got that 16 years right here. It was come up, we hit that resistance. It was around 97. We broke through it. This line became a floor. And then we marched all the way up to about 1503. 1503 became a resistance. And we came back down. And this line is now a support because we're above that line. So we hit our resistance, our ceiling. We came down, hit our floor or our support. And we can see that was in 2002-03. And then we traveled up again. And around 2006, 2007, we hit that resistance again, that ceiling. And then we came right back down into 2008. And we actually breached it in 2008. And then we started our trend upward into our presence right now. So you can see that's a mighty long channel. And the longer the trend, the stronger it is. So if we come on down and we hit this 1503, that's going to be a strong support. So we can expect a really good trade in this area. Pow! Because it's going to bounce. The scary part about this, and I hope this doesn't happen, if we bounce and we hold it for a little while and the news keeps getting bad, the financial news, they keep printing money, you know, they secretly were doing credit default swaps or they're bailing out the banks even further. If we break this trend line right here, then our next trend line is about 800. At the bottom of that 16-year formation will become a floor. And then, of course, at 1503, that would become a new ceiling. Now, I do fully expect for us to go to 1503 with everything that's going on in the world today. Do I hope I'm wrong? Absolutely. Absolutely. But if we do get down to 1503, and we breach that support, at that point, it, again, being redundant to a degree, at that point it will become a resistance, and then we'll, if we stay below it, if we can't get back up above it in a timely manner, then we can see the S&P go all the way to 801. And the reason why I say that I do believe we're going to breach it, I hope I'm wrong, is because we had problems back here in 2008 and 2009. We didn't fix them. We started printing money, zero interest rates, etc., etc. And so we hurled the S&P upward, just like the Dow. If you looked at my Dow chart, it's a very similar. They, follow a pattern, right? So that being said, seeing we didn't fix it right here, when we come back down to 1503, I believe we're going to go back down and test this. Because not only did we not fix it here, now that we're here, we're doing the same things. They're printing an enormous amount of money. So I think we're going into a depression. This is not a recession. There's a lot of people losing their jobs, unfortunately. So there'll be a lot less consumer spending, restaurant visits, the malls, etc., etc., etc. So I hope this was helpful. I put these lines, normally I don't put all these lines on a chart. I've looked at them for so many years, I've just got to where I can look at one and tell where everything's at. But for the benefit of the viewer, that's why I have these up here. So support, trend line, support, which when we go below it becomes a ceiling. The next line down becomes a support. If we break through that, it becomes a ceiling or a resistance. Then the next line below that becomes a support or a floor, and on and on and on. So if you have any comments, please leave them. Be nice. If you would like, if you have any stocks you're following, throw out a suggestion. I'll try to get to it and chart it for you or answer any questions I can. And we appreciate you. Hope you have a good day. Good luck in this market. Hope you keep your job and enjoy. Thank you.